Hey guys, welcome to my video today. Today I'm going to talk about something that's kind of a serious subject, something I've been dealing with a lot this year. I have sent out 8 DMCA notices in the past 2 months, and I thought it might be helpful for you to see how I do it. If you don't know what a DMCA notice is, it stands for Digital Millennium Copyright Act. It's my understanding, I'm not a lawyer, that the DMCA notice is the equivalent of a cease and desist notice for your work found on the web. I have a link in the description that can answer a lot of questions for you about what it is and how it works. I imagine there's probably a lot of you that have never had to send one of these out, but you might be in the position to send one out one day. So I thought I would run through what I do when I find my art illegally online. Disclaimer, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a legal professional. I'm simply an independent artist sharing how I deal with this stuff. My own experience sharing how I handle these situations to give you more ammo for if and when you ever run across a situation yourself. I just want to open up the convo and share with you what I personally do, so maybe you won't feel so alone or helpless if you run into this situation for the first time. Knowledge is power, so just take this info, put it in your back pocket, and if you're interested, keep watching. So before I begin sharing any of this stuff, I will tell you that in order to send out a DMCA notice, you do not have to have a legally registered copyright in the image you are citing for infringement. I also will tell you that I do officially register copyright in every piece of artwork that I put on a product for sale online. I'm mentioning this now because I'm gonna come back to it later. With that said, let's move on. So you find a piece of your artwork that's being sold on products on a website that's not yours. It could be on a t-shirt with a t-shirt company or on products in an Etsy shop. I actually discovered some of my infringements because the tees and totes were in Google ads with my name in them. So obviously you have to track down the email to contact the person who runs the store. Let them know they need to remove it from the internet completely, from sale, from anything available for sale. Sometimes when you find an infringement, say on a t-shirt website or whatever, you'll see a page on that website that says something like it's titled copyright policy or something like that. And it won't be like very visible. You'll have to kind of dig around to find it. I've noticed there are more and more shops that have a specific page for all this information on it. So if a page like this exists on the website that's infringing your work, it usually will go something like this. They're going to provide directions citing all the details they're going to need from you if you want to report a copyright infringement. And those details are the same details that are included in a boilerplate DMCA notice. Sometimes they'll actually use the acronym DMCA, but sometimes they won't. So the good news about this is you don't have to reinvent the wheel and create your own notice. They exist in a boilerplate format. You can find a DMCA template online for free. All you have to do is Google it and dig around a little bit. I'll put a few links below to get you started, so you can dig around in the links or just Google and find your own template. If you find a boilerplate template, it'll be probably the exact same thing as like a gazillion other boilerplate templates, so that's good. Just make sure to go through whichever template you're using very carefully to make sure that all the pertinent information in it matches up with what the website infringement page is asking you to provide. Often on these pages, there's not an actual name of an actual person. I don't sweat it that I can't find a name because they give you an email usually. You can just address your email to copyright agent. Just send it to whatever email address is officially for citing infringements on their website. That email should get your notice to the right person. So here's my boilerplate DMCA takedown notice. And here's what I do to customize it for my needs. In the space where you are citing an infringement or multiple infringements, here I'm going to put the actual number of the individually registered copyright that I get from the Copyright Office when they send me my confirmation notice in the mail that my work has been copyrighted. I also include the effective date of registration and the title of the artwork as it is in my registration. If the company infringed on more than one piece of artwork, I will repeat this portion exactly with the new information for as many infringed pieces as I am citing. Then you will need to include the live link or links to the infringement on their website. So for instance, in this case, this shop infringed on my tee design, so I included the link to that t-shirt listing in their online shop. If there's more than one infringed piece of artwork in one DMCA notice that you're sending, then under the number 1 section, you're going to put all the names of the artwork. And under the number 2, you're going to put all of the URLs where that artwork infringement can be found on the website. Then at the end of the notice, you'll need to fill in your contact information, like your mailing address. You will also need to sign the document and include your legal name underneath. On my DMCAs, I add a note that says Schedule A and a description of what will be in the Schedule A. This is not in any DMCA boilerplates that I have seen. I've just done enough legal agreements with my art that this is how I include important visuals or other information that needs to be seen that's not in the official document, but that needs to be referenced in the document. So I include a Schedule A, and on that page, I show both my original artwork with the copyright with the correct date that I copyrighted it. So for instance, if I sent it in March this year, but I have a copyright for 2017, it will say, C 2017 and then my name. And then I show the infringement as I saw it on the web on the same page. So at the top I have original, and underneath it I have the infringement. In March of this year, I had my work infringed upon twice in different places. In April, I had 8 infringements on my work in 4 different online shops. And after sending out my DMCA the way that I do it, in every case, the art came down in 24 hours or less. While DMCA is an official document, you can prepare one without the help of a lawyer. I would recommend talking to an IP lawyer if you have any specific questions though, or anything pertaining to your individual needs. Because I've never sent out a DMCA without including my copyright registration information, I can't compare the success rate of sending one with versus sending one without. However, my gut tells me that I have had success because I'm able to state the actual legal copyright information from the infringed work that I'm citing in the notice. Copyright blurb time. My personal opinion is that it's kind of key to have official copyright when you're dealing with infringers. If someone's bold enough to steal my artwork, call me jaded, but I don't think they're very likely to take it down and stop using it unless I'm providing them with legal reason to take it down. So copyright gives you the proof and ability to state proof of your ownership in the work. For anyone that needs to know it. It's not cheap to copyright your work. It's kind of expensive. I know this and it stinks. There's now this new rule too that you can only copyright 10 pieces of unpublished artwork in one collection. It used to be that you could have unlimited unpublished works in one unpublished grouping of work, one group of unpublished works, but no more. And not only that, but the unpublished group has to have a thread of thematic or visual context in order to be approved as a group. The group part of unpublished group. That part is not necessarily new, but it is worth noting. I know it's really hard for people to swallow a $55 fee on 10 pieces of artwork. Trust me, I get it. But when you're selling your artwork online on products and it's your business, you have business expenses, and this is simply one of them. I look at copyright registration as health insurance for my artwork. Kind of like you have health insurance for your body, car insurance for your car, apartment renter's insurance, Apple Care for your computer. And then, okay, just add this to the big pot of mess. When you're sending your artwork to a print-on-demand company and then selling it online on their platform, really now, can we talk about this? We don't really know how the art is going to be stored, right? We don't really know who has the ability to go in and grab something. Like, we're not there. We're not like in their server room, you know? I don't know. We're not. This is a fact. This is something that we have to be realistic about and absorb. The facts. Basically, we just really need to do whatever we can to legally protect ourselves. We're putting ourselves out there and that's great, but you're putting yourself out there and you need to protect your work. Again, you obviously do not have to officially copyright every piece of artwork that you sell online. You don't have to. There's no law that says you have to do that, and you don't have to do that. It's really your choice. And you can still send a DMCA without having officially registered copyright in your work. And that's great. But if you do that, just know that you may have to deal with some repercussions down the road. And when you do have the copyright, you're in a much less vulnerable position. No one can dispute it. It just cuts out a lot of the crap too of having to do this whole DMCA thing. It's actually kind of therapeutic. I think of all the time, worry, and money that I'll save by actually having that official registered copyright when it's time to send out a DMCA notice, or 2 or 3 or 4. It is traumatic enough to find an infringement of your artwork. So having the official copyright, having that as a legal leg to stand on, is also pretty therapeutic. So you can just sort of add that into the cost therapy. You freak out a lot less when you find an infringement when you have that. Even though many countries don't legally have to abide by US copyright. In my personal experience, they have, for whatever reason. I don't pretend to know why, but they have. So now that we have the notice, we gotta send it. What do you put in the email? Here's what I do. Keep it short and to the point. So when I find an infringement, I do not even bother asking them to remove the work before sending a DMCA. Like I said before, if they're bold enough to steal your work, they're certainly not going to be in any hot rush to take it down unless they have a legal reason to do so. I just don't see the point in approaching someone who knowingly stole my work and asking them to take it down before sending a DMCA. I don't see the point. I save my future time and effort, and I just prepare it first. And then I send it with the first contact email as an attached PDF. Here's an example of how I word the email. To copyright agent at blah, blah, blah. This is a notice of your copyright infringement on my intellectual property. See attached PDF. Regards, and then my name. Again, I will put resource links in the description below for you. Feel free to ask me any more questions you like. I'm happy to answer if I possibly can, but please do keep in mind that I am not a legal professional of any kind, although I encourage any legal professionals to reply to any questions if they feel so inclined. I'm just a civilian independent artist using whatever legal means I have available to me to protect my work and my livelihood. And that's what this is all about. I also hope this video inspires others to share what they do when they send a DMCA notice. The more info sharing we all take part in together, the stronger the artist community will be. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you liked my other videos, please feel free to subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you. And there's a bell next to the subscribe button. If you hit it, it will let you know every time I post a new video. So thank you so much for watching, you guys, and I will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.